Welcome. Here is a brief build update, but first I'm going to show off a neat little thing I found that any class can use to get Unholy Might. And Unholy Might is 30% extra damage as Chaos, which right now for this build is the same thing as 30% more damage basically. So you take any minion that can be commanded. This is not the ideal one. You should take whatever has the fastest command time, which is not this, but I didn't have more low B gems. Brutus's Brain, which makes the minion immortal, except for self-harm. And Kurgel's Leash, which gives you Unholy Might for 5 seconds when you command a minion. And then you simply have cooldown reduction if you have extra link slots, which is not even needed. This will give you 100% uptime if you want of Unholy Might. Since it has skill animation time, you might only want to use it on bosses or before bosses, etc. But it's really, really nice as a freebie filler for 30% extra damage as Chaos. With that said, here is a first update to the build. I have exported it and fixed a little bit in the max roll planner, and I will keep updating it. And if you have any opinions or questions, just come and ask on stream and I try to answer everyone. So the first thing I want to quickly cover that I realized I didn't put in the video because I thought everyone knows how to play this perfectly is the skill rotation. And that can be a bit complicated sometimes. But overall, on trash, if you're strong enough, you can just blast with Poison Burst Arrow. You can also try Gas Arrow. They are pretty interchangeable with almost the same supports. So if there is trash and you know it's not going to insta-die and it's good density, especially early on, you have Contagion. Always throw the Contagion on something that will die, blast it with the other poison. If you think you also want, use Vine Arrow. If later on you drop Contagion when it simply no longer feels worth your time to cast, so there's no hard limit when you should use or not use it. So for trash, you simply have all the tools and use them as needed. But the easiest is spam Poison Burst. If that kills everything, then that's fine. But overall, a big pack, I would throw down a Vine Arrow, which will, it's not just for CC, but if you look at it, it will copy some of the poison damage and apply it as its own Chaos Dot, circumventing the poison limit. And yeah, it's a really good skill all around. So if there's a good pack, you can throw down Toxic Growths, you can put a Vine Arrow and then blast, just like on a boss, or use each ability as you please. So on bosses, always pre-cast Toxic Growths and Vine Arrow. If you have a curse fully functional, try to cast the curse so it triggers exactly as the boss pops, but that's really not needed. And until you have full weapon swap set up for Despair and all extra supports, it's not really worth using because it lasts such a short time at low level. So make sure to have Growths up, get a Vine Arrow down. If Plague Bearer is charged, make sure to always pop the Growths with Plague Bearer. If not, then just blast with Poison Burst, or if you Gas Arrow if you're using it, and it will pop them. When Vine Arrow fades or the Growths explode, reapply new. So try to always have a Vine Arrow and Growths and blast it with first Plague Bearer, second priority Poison Burst. Then you will always detonate them with the best possible damage, because the Growths detonate when they take poison damage to a certain level, which also buffs their damage and area of effect. So I hope that clears up the rotation. And final note is I have Toxic Domain. which creates the area of toxic bloom that regenerates life and enhances your projectiles with pustules. So if you have time and if a boss fight allows you to stand still, then I put it up. But it's purely optional. It seems good, but it's very situational, so not necessary. So Groves, Vine Arrow, always have them up if possible. Some bosses move a lot, then just try to have Vine Arrow and Blast with Poison Burst. So quickly into the gear and stat priorities. Some people sometimes ask why they have really bad damage, and sometimes that is people from Path of Exile 1 who have played poison builds there that do not require any damage on the weapon. But in Path of Exile 2, all the damage, except the Plague Nova, pretty much, is based on your physical damage of your character, your weapon, etc. So make sure to always have the best possible physical damage you can. Early on, elemental damage is just as good because your poison damage won't come online until a bit later. So that was the important notes for rotations and gear. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I will make a full and proper guide later, and this is more of a temporary stepping stone. Just fill out your resists, get evasion, get crit sometime in early endgame, and start transition to crit. I have included the new lineage support gems. If you don't have them, you can just refer to the original guide. It doesn't matter much. Some interesting things are Plaguebearer supports a whole lot of new supports. Bursting Plague, Poison supports, Heft. Have not verified that all of them works, so just try by yourself, but this is definitely a really, really good gem for Plaguebearer because it scales heavily with levels and quality, so it's really the ideal gem for it. Bursting Plague for better clear, otherwise put Heft or one of the poison gems in it, like Deadly Poison. On paper, it should boost it by a lot. I, again, am not 100% sure all of them work. The second lineage support to look out for is Arakali's Lust, which you can use on most of your main damage skills, either Poison Burst or Toxic Growth. I'm currently using it on Poison Burst. Might be best in the end to have it on Toxic Growth, but we shall see. So those are the ones I use for now. And of course the previously mentioned combo for Unholy Might. Now, some quick notes on the tree. Progress first to poison proliferation, then a double amount of poison stacks. By the time you can do this, you will have your poison damage up and running, because you will likely be level 35 to 50-ish, depending on when you do it. Then, last of all, progress this way. And if for some reason you don't like this extra mobility, you're perfectly free to choose the immunities, less damage per evasion, and so on. The only thing you really need is the poison stuff. But these are very, very good. And I'm not sure if the max roll is progressive or not, since it was imported. But the way to follow the tree is it's very linear, so you can't really go wrong. Skip all the crit nodes and just follow the tree. Take this node, those nodes, up here, take the nodes here, progress here, take all of these three, all the way around, and the final poison nodes, and down to the evasion nodes. And by now, if you're in trade, you can surely get crit gear and start transitioning to crit. I still have too low crit, even at level 91 in solo self-found, but in trade it would be no issue. So that is the tree. And since it is what I leveled with, I was a bit lazy. All of the crit stuff and some of the damage nodes should be on weapon swap. And then on weapon swap 2, you should run the curse and path to all the nearby curse nodes. And int. Just take int on all the minor passives and the curse nodes. I will update this when I have time. I just haven't settled on a final version yet, since this tree is quite different. The old one could easily reach stuff all the way up here, since I use CI. But yeah, that should be it for the tree skills and gear. So if you have any questions, I try to answer everyone on the stream. So thank you for everyone who has been following along and helping, and see you online.